Hey, happy Monday, everybody. Something I wanted to pop on and share today that I just stumbled on and kind of checking my emails and stuff. And just a thought that came to mind that I thought was worth like really sharing with people. So I get regular emails from Arrange Me, everything from composition tips, arranging things, like producers will sometimes blog on their site, things like that. And every few emails they send me, I get like brief lists of like new titles that they've acquired in their database, ready for new arrangements of them to be made. And I always enjoy those because I'm like, oh, what's new, what's good, I think that's kind of, fun to arrange. That's a new title out there, doesn't have any new arrangements yet on their site, brand new stuff in their, in their collection. I'm like, oh, hey, let's take a look at what we got, right? Which is kind of fun. And I remember there was one a while ago that was mentioning, for example, Benson Boone's song, "Beautiful Things." Love that song; it's really a good one. And I got an email once saying that there was like this was like a week or two. I don't remember if I'm saying that 100% accurately, but where like they were saying that Benson Boone's song was one of the most searched for sheet music titles for those like a few weeks or something like that. And they're saying it's the most searched for, and we don't have a single arrangement of it on our platform. I'm like, okay, well, I'm gonna go do that. So I did, and it was a lot of fun. That song is actually now one of my most frequent and best-selling arrangements I have that I've done on Arrange Me and they publish their stuff through Sheet Music Plus and Sheet Music Direct. So if you want to go find my arrangement of that one, check it out on there. It's a lot of fun to do that one. But the reason I mention that, there's always a process I go through, just kind of a quick thing. Whenever I go to arrange something, and this is just kind of a personal decision that I've made, as a producer and an arranger and a songwriter, I've made the choice to arrange and publish only music that has lyrics that are scripturally and doctrinally sound, being a Christian artist, right? That's one of the reasons I love Switchfoot's music so much. A lot of their stuff, like I'm familiar with like probably 90% of their music, and they have tons of, more than you might think. They have tons of really awesome music. They were actually started out as a Christian band. For those of you who don't know, Switchfoot actually started as a mega church Christian band in California. They used to be called Chin Up originally. That was their original band name. And then contracts were made and they changed their name to Switchfoot, kind of alluding to like surfing Switchfoot, like going against the grain of society kind of thing, which I thought was awesome. But none of their music I have ever heard has any like glorification of sex, drugs, alcohol, substance abuse, dishonesty, any of that garbage. It's really cool. So that's one of the reasons I love their stuff, is because their lyrics are clean. Like all of their lyrics I've heard are clean, and there's a lot of them. And so I'm like, how often do you see that these days, right? So, okay, the reason why I mentioned though Arrange Me is because I'm in their email they sent me today. They had a title out by Megan Woods. They have it in their database now. The song's name is The Truth. And anyone who knows me, I've actually been told by people before, oh, one guy in Sunday school, I remember him saying, I just complimenting a bunch of people in the class, and he's like, I wish I had this guy's talent for this. And he points at me, he goes, I wish I had Paul's passion for the truth. And I'm like, passion for truth? I've never heard that before at that point. I'm like, I guess I kind of do have a passion for truth. Like I'm always trying to dig down to see, is this 100% truth, right? And I was really excited because I'm like, with the Megan Woods song, The Truth, I was like, oh, well, let's take a look at this song because I love truth. And I was kind of excited. I'm like, oh, is this going to be good, right? And I was a little disappointed. Not because, don't get me wrong. It's a great music. It's overall great song. Unfortunately, though we have a lot of, legitimately good, well-meaning people in the world who are out there just to do good for the world in their music, unfortunately, there are many of them that are so wrapped up in the legitimate goodness of God that they forget that one of the devil's tactics that he's just so good at is to sneak these subliminal messages that aren't entirely scripturally accurate. And I know some people are going to think, oh, you're just being too pedantic. Just hear me out, okay? Hear me out. The reason I was disappointed is that there's one little part of the chorus in her song that, ironically, wasn't 100% truth. Good on her for giving her best shot. She has an overall good message in there. But I decided to make the hard decision and not compromise my integrity by perpetuating lyrics that has 90-something% truth. And again, people may read, they may read the post I put on Facebook about this. They see this video maybe and think I'm just being too picky. Great, if you want to think that about me, fine. But I don't believe that I need to trade 100% truth for creativity or popularity. I believe I can have both. That's what I shoot for. As someone who's recovered from addiction, 20 plus years of it, I broke free from all those lies, all those years, and I learned at least one very important lesson from it all. And that is that any form of art that touches your soul, that has, one little half-truth or white lie, I don't actually believe there's such thing as a white lie. Lies are lies. Songs like that will eventually result in that lie becoming a part of your soul, who you are. And us musicians, we have this huge responsibility as songwriters, composers, producers, all media professionals for that matter, right? Which we all hope would mean the news too and the public media, but not always the case, right? We have this responsibility of using our skill and our craft to help the truth, God's truth, objective truth, sink into the human soul. And music is a fantastic tool for that, right? There's this concept in music called word painting. And it's like an example of this is like when you hear the word mountain sung as the melody goes up and back down, right? To paint a picture in your mind of a mountain, right? Another example I remember is there was this kind of kids short kind of video, excuse me. It wasn't part of the Little Mermaid movie, but it had, Ariel, Little Mermaid from that movie in it. And these fish were like arguing, "You're not different. He's different. Oh, I'm not different. You're different. No, he's different." And she's like, "Wait, you're all right. We're all different." They're like, "Wait, what?" Just to kind of help kids realize, yes, everyone's different. That's not always a bad thing. And the song she sings, there's a part in it where she goes, "If there was only one note, how boring life would be," right? And then she goes, I forget the exact melody, but in the next part she goes, "I'm glad there are so many notes," and I'm way off pitch there, but she goes all over the place. She was saying, "I'm glad there are so many notes to bring music to the sea." And she's painting what she wants the idea to get across, right? That's word painting with music. Now, a good musician or songwriter will use word painting with all different types of harmonic movement. Four biggest types are parallel, contrary, similar, and oblique. And a lot of pop stars today I've noticed, for some reason, just tend to love oblique motion. Look it up if you don't know what that is. It's kind of fun, actually. And they use this kind of stuff to emphasize, important syllables and words in a song deliberately to make the message stick more in your head, right? Let's be honest, that's how we music professionals make a living. We find out how to make a tune and lyrics stick in your head. We learn the psychology of how human brains process music, and we use it to our advantage. I mean, that's what every field does. That's what marketing is all about, right? And so we use that to our advantage, and that's why we have such a huge responsibility. There are those of us who understand how easy it is to use these harmonic devices to spread a specific message that can either be used to help change the heart for the better and lead people to Christ, to truth. And unfortunately, there's the other end. People, for example, like Mick Jagger, who said, and I quote, "Our music is calculated to drive kids to sex." Creepy, right? Thankfully, Megan Wood's song is a far cry from that. But I have always been the kind of person myself who's willing to dig deeper, trying to get, just make my best effort, give my best quality effort towards making sure that one word of my music, if I can help it, not one word is going to give someone the wrong idea about what I believe about the truth found in Scripture. And believe me, music has a more powerful effect on your mind and your heart than you might believe. It's always worth trying to pay attention to the kinds of messages that are getting buried deep within your soul with the music you like. It's worth the effort to pay attention to that, trust me. And it's not judgmental or unkind to be picky about what you allow into your soul. I learned that through addiction recovery the hard way. So just something to think about today. Lyrics matter in music. Your favorite songs, the reason you remember the words is because how the music is crafted and why those words are put in there. The best songwriters out there are going to deliberately manipulate what they want their listeners to hear, think, feel. It's how we make our living. So be careful the kind of messages you're allowing to sink into your soul. Just because music is catchy and fun doesn't always mean it's good for your soul. It can, but it doesn't always. So enjoy good messages, and hopefully you can use that to look for music that's edifying to your soul.